So many of us think that there's a magic bullet out there that's going to fix us, but healing is actually a journey that we take that cultivates awareness of our choice and empowerment. We at the center try to create a community to validate that journey. It can be often frightening. People don't have support from their family as they make changes such as giving up certain foods or changing behaviors. Oftentimes they feel isolated and alone. So we feel community is important. And then the end is we want to support people to become their greatest self, to have full harmony of mind, body, and spirit.
So what is functional medicine?
Functional medicine is a relatively new form of medicine. It was founded by Dr. Jeffrey Bland, a nutritional biochemist, and it uses the lens of systems biology to evaluate how a person wound up with symptoms or disease. So if that term symptoms biology sounds unusual, basically what it means is we look at the various systems of the body, things like blood sugar handling, immune response, gastrointestinal health, nutrition, and hormones, to determine how a person's system may have become out of balance.
How does our environment affect our genes?
The way I like to think about it is we each are exposed to certain environmental input. We breathe toxins in the air, we eat certain foods, and the way the environment presses on our genes is unique to us, and it's how we fall down with disease. People don't realize that the environment interacts with the genes to create disease outcome. So 75% of our genes are actually modifiable. So as you look at your family history and you find out whether or not you have heart disease or diabetes, it's not necessarily a destination for you. You can actually modify your environmental inputs such as your food or whether you smoke or exercise, and those things will transform your genetic risk. I think food is probably one of the most powerful medicines there is. If you think about it, our gastrointestinal tract is the outside world on the inside. This is where we put our food. So our choices have a lot of information that it's feeding to our immune system, trying to decide, did we make the right choice? Are we going to have an inflammatory reaction to what we're eating? So when you change foods to more natural foods or whole foods, you reduce inflammation, which reduces your risk for chronic disease. By avoiding those types of inputs, we can transform an individual's health about 80% of the time. So what we find in the field of functional medicine is that underneath all disease is a common process called inflammation, and it tends to settle in a person's vulnerable area. We were talking earlier about environment-gene interactions and how the environment pushes on us and causes us to fall down in different ways. But underneath that energy of falling down is this burning fire of inflammation. And that's where the main frontier of functional medicine works on how can we identify the modifiable causes of inflammation and then develop strategies to turn it off. When you enter the Center for Hope and Healing, you're greeted by the angels of hope and compassion. They support you as you look within and decide, what are the choices I may need to make about my life? You're asking yourself, am I willing to take the winding, grinding, painful, but ecstatic journey into, through, and out of the self? So if you have a community that validates the changes you're making, that supports you, such as our Joy of Change Community Circle that we offer here, it's an arena where you can feel supported by other like-minded people on the journey with you. The goal of a healing journey is to cultivate the foundations for healing. By this I mean the development of self-awareness. Things like what you put in your mouth, the way you laugh, the way you cry, the quality of your relationships, the way you manage stress. These inputs have a huge impact on your health. So as we help people develop awareness, they become empowered as a result of that. They develop the courage and confidence to make the changes they need to make in their health. These, I believe, are the foundations for healing.